Right, let's move on to the absolute gigantic game this weekend at the Etihad. All eyes around the world will be on this one. It's a 4:30 kickoff.
I swerved it for
in
50
Manchester. Man City, Arsenal. I can't wait for this one. It's always one of the standout fixtures. We'll come to you first, James. If Arsenal can go, and I say finally because it hasn't happened for a while, can they go finally away to City and win? And if they do, we've spoken about this mental barrier that Arsenal have when they go to an Etihad, when they go to an Anfield. If they win this one this early on in the season, are Arsenal favourites to win the league?
Have chest, James. Have chest on it.
No, look, I'll just always be honest.
Fair enough.
If we win, that's massive. And that's not beyond the realms of possibility. Look at the players we've got, but look at what Brentford and Inter Milan have just done at the Etihad in the last few games. I know they've come away with a win in the Brentford game, but what did Pep describe that as the best he's ever seen from an away team at the Etihad? So there's a blueprint there potentially to look at. Inter Milan, I thought had plenty of chances in the game yesterday, but that was a good game for a 0-0. I say plenty of chance. You know, they played well, albeit I was in the pub with sort of one eye on it. But, people might hate me for this. I would take a repeat of last year. I really would. Just be sensible, defend well, hope you get that Trossard in behind moment and you just do better with it. And maybe hope you get a few more of those. I don't think City are unbeatable, but I think we can be sensible and see how the game goes. Like, that's what we did at Tottenham. Like,
are you on the watch along?
Yes.
The people want to know.
The people want to know, and I will celebrate a draw.
Will you celebrate a draw? Yeah.
Come on, get in there, Arsenal.
You lot. Yeah, I will. And do you know what?
Nice.
Nothing wrong with that, mate.
I just think these narratives sort of come through for Arsenal. Like, suddenly you have to win at Man City to win the title.
No,
Liverpool never did it. Well, they didn't win at the Etihad the year they won the title. They actually lost their 4-0. And City and every time.
AGT.
And City, every title race they're in with Liverpool, when it was neck and neck, they never went to Anfield and won. So for me, the job is, and that is not some negative, pessimistic, well, we can't do it, so let's just sort of be really kind of pathetic about it. It's just be sensible. Like, look what Haaland's doing. He's scored more goals than Arsenal this season. He's been phenomenal. He's outscoring his XG. Wherever he gets the ball, you know, he's thundering it into the roof of the net. And then when you do feel like, all right, they've got a goal kick, Edison's got it, it's all fine, he'll just launch into the channels.
Do you feel, though, just with the centre-backs, obviously, we know what Gabriel's on. Every time he comes up against Haaland, he's ready.
Innit?
We've seen Arsenal fans be very vocal on social media, with Saliba as well, of shutting him down. Haaland ain't got no goals against these two. Talking about being sensible, and you're saying how good Haaland's doing. Well, has he?
Not in the last three games.
Yeah, last 3 games. So those two absolutely are ready for him. And yes, there's all this talk about Haaland doing a madness, scoring all these goals. Do you feel as an Arsenal fan, though?
Yeah.
All right, come against Gabriel and Saliba. Come do that to our players.
Yeah,
I
think Saliba and Gabriel are two of the best centre-backs in the world. Like, I do believe that. I think they're the best centre-back partnership in the world. And I think when you look at the games they had against Haaland the last few games, they're a really good match for him physically. Like, Haaland,
he doesn't like it, though, when it's physical like that.
No, and actually, if you look at the game at the Etihad, Gabriel and Haaland did have a bit of back and forth, and then at full time they shook it out. It was kind of like good-spirited, you know.
That's what you want to see.
Premier League.
And I correct myself because I was wrong there. He has scored against them in general in the treble seat, but I meant last year. Them 3 games.
And look, while I sort of was defending the defending the approach to be a little bit more reserved, like, I think this team can absolutely go and do something there. But I just think the way to do it is still to be sensible. I don't think just because you want to be a little bit more reserved and a little bit stop City first doesn't mean you don't believe you can do something when you get your moments. And that's ultimately what we did at Tottenham. It's going to be difficult, but I think we can do it.
Them having a couple.
We built up to this point.
You look nervous. Why do you look so nervous?
Because
why are you sweating so much?
Yeah,
They've had an extra couple days rest.
It's a hot room,
which is
it's tricky.
Well, do you know what I would say?
Extra couple days rest is,
and that's what my point was, right? To go Tottenham away, Atalanta away, and City away in a week. If Arsenal get through that, not only unscathed, but actually come out
unbeaten
with something, then that's one of the best weeks Arteta could ever have as a manager. But my question to you is, if someone offered you a draw right now, would you take it?
Yeah, I would. I know that.
Celebrate it as well.
Probably. Well, I'll
depends how it comes, because I think if you're 1-0 up with 2 minutes to go, and obviously
then you're gutted you threw away. But guys, like, people always want to talk about these. yeah, but if you want to beat City, then you've got to go to their backyard and beat them. But if we've got Tottenham, Villa Park and the Etihad out the way, I don't care how defeatist this sounds. Obviously, you play with a plan to somehow win the game. But if you come out with a draw and you're 2 points behind City with those away games done and dusted in what's been a really difficult week in which you have missed key players, like you got to see the positives in that. Are we good enough to win? We absolutely are. What I really love is the language Arteta's using. I know I can sit here on DR Sports and talk about, well, let's be a bit more reserved, let's be a little bit more controlled. But with Arteta though, if you, and you probably wouldn't because you got better things to do. But Arteta, like, if you hear the way
Tell me the language she uses.
Why?
Just I want to hear.
Upset you?
You don't even want to hear it.
I do. I just said I want to hear the language that he uses.
Yeah, of course. I was about to tell you. I was about to elaborate.
Please elaborate.
Educate you on Mikel Arteta's ways.
Please elaborate.
Maybe Anne should watch a bit of his press conferences. But
he needs to not worry about the language.
If you listen to Mikel when talking about missing Mourinho, Rice, and Ødegaard, he's not making excuses. He's just like, "Is what it is. We've got great players. We'll go for it." If you look at what he's saying pre-Atalanta, and he's asked, you're playing on a Thursday night, is that a bit annoying? He's just like, is what it is, new competition. And the thing is, it's really little psychological things you get into the team.
This is the game of the weekend. It's the last game of the weekend as well. Fresh in the memory for Monday morning, it should be.
I think Arsenal will play very similar, like Spurs and like they did last year there.
Is that a bad thing?
No, not at all.
But like,
I was talking to Laurie about this, and I said, "Oh, you must be happy. You won weekend." He said, "Yeah, but
negative, wasn't
but performance, man."
Yeah, that's Laurie.
What? That's your two best players missing two of. Like Tottenham didn't lay a glove. Like it's a big away game.
No one ever criticised
why they have to play this. If Arsenal did that every single game, you can have a thing.
Yeah, but
even if they're
song,
winning.
isn't it? 1-0 to the Arsenal. That's
Chelsea
did it in
like
04-05,
most teams Arsenal play against, apart from like a couple of players were missing. They ran up on Spurs last year, 3-0 at half time.
Yeah.
Ended 3-2 though.
And fun enough, played quite a similar way though.
But then every other team Arsenal play, you play on the front foot. That team can't get out. Loads of chances. You can see the style. It's not like this. Like he's like Pulis thing because he did this in a couple of big games to just get a result, and it worked. Then went on to carry on playing their normal football.
All the top managers have done it. Mourinho's done it.
Yeah,
all the top managers do it.
Ferguson's done it in the years.
The thing is, you can never win if you do that and you be pragmatic and you be intelligent and you find another way to get a job done. You're called Pulis, and if you don't do that, you're called tactically naive.
You're 100% for going out there and getting sacked.
So I'd prefer to be pragmatic and go and do what you need to do.
It's not even the pragmatism, but it's getting beat. Like, if it was the pragmatism that you didn't have a go, mate, you just sat in and look, you lost 2-0. They're going and doing it and getting the results.
Also, it's knowing the weaknesses of the other team. Like against us, it's clear you're happy. Well, yeah, you're happy to let us have.
I'm so glad you said that
because you know that we're not going to do anything with it.
You're so right. It's not. I want Arsenal to deploy the best tactics to give them the best chance to win the game.
Yeah.
That specific game.
Trying to chase City all over the pitch. This is what annoys about that game last year, right? Everyone's like, yeah, but Arsenal pathetic. What? From minute 45 to 60, we came out in the second half. We tried to press them, take the game a little bit to them. We couldn't get near them. We won the ball a few times, and City just all right, sit back, guys, but it's not happening. Like, you can try these things, but we can't in the same conversation wax lyrical about Pep, Haaland, De Bruyne, what City have achieved, they could win a fifth, and then go, yeah, but you're going to go take the game to them, right?
When we actually beat them under Conte, we actually sat in quite a lot in a 3-1 win, and you can be very entertaining and devastating on the break.
You can.
Bro, every loss they get, that's
the way to do it.
Every loss when you do beat City is usually like that. Unless, like, at home, though, to be fair to Arsenal, when they come to the Emirates, you give them licks.
Yeah.
Well, we try.
Yeah. All right, score predictions then for the big ones. City, Arsenal.
2-1 City for me.
I think Arsenal, I don't think they get beat. I think a draw.
This is so tricky.
I think 2-2.
I'm going to go 1-0 City.
1-1.
That's where I am. 1-1. I do think they'll score. I'd be amazed if we went 180 minutes at the Etihad without them scoring. But then I think we've got a goal in us.
Let us know in the chat. What do you think?